Hey buddies, welcome to Overwatch Pro Chat, where only the pros give you the hot tips you need to become more pro.
That's me.
I actually had a guy on Twitter tell me, as I said to somebody, I was talking about how in this they've released what tiers is diamond, platinum, etc.
Okay.
And I found out I was diamond, and somebody said you could have been master by now, totally just fluffing me. But I was like, I think I could have too if I wasn't so dedicated to always practicing my lesser played characters. And then a guy says, you're what's wrong with Overwatch or something like that. Said, some of us are trying to make it pro and you're dragging us down by doing that, by basically practicing characters.
Oh.
He wasn't even a fan of the show. I don't even know how he found the tweet. He just like, he was looking up.
All
like,
right.
Yeah, he was like, you're dragging us down by not playing your best character all the time. Anywho,
Wow.
that was just a little thing I had to note. It was funny. It made me laugh. I said pro on pro. All right.
That's good.
Or pro harder pro. All right. So let me just get down to the highlights. So there's a few highlights that we already knew about. The sudden death is changing. 1 to 5,000 scale.
Right.
But here's the big stuff. Okay, so in general, activating ultimate status communication. Symmetria will now report on the left number of charges left on her teleporter.
Oh,
Very helpful.
Cool.
When activating
that.
needs healing communication with targeting a teammate, Ana, Lucio, Mercy, and Zenyatta will now tell allies to get the fuck over here to get healing instead of just group up with me. Or instead of using group up with me, which a healer usually had to do, a healer can now say, I need healing, and that will say, group up for healing instead.
Okay.
A marker will also appear above their head that will be specific to like healers, so that they'll all know that the healer is over there. So it'll be better than just your standard group up icon. It'll be very specific, like the healer is over there.
Right.
That is going to be very critical because for me, when I have a healer on the team, I want to protect them. But often, like when I hear over voice chat, somebody's like, "Oh God, I'm getting attacked. I'm getting attacked." I'm like, "Where the fuck are you?" If she can just say, use that, then I'll know. I'll be able to look for the icon and run to help her. I still think Overwatch should add an emote that says "Help me." It should be added. Like, there's a lot of characters that could use that, especially healers, but even guys like Reinhardt could use it, like, help me.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they don't have that.
Added Torbjorn as an AI-controlled hero in practice. That doesn't really matter that much. Sit and laugh emotes are now unlockable. We just looked at those. Skill ratings are now measured like this. Bronze is anywhere in the bottom half. And then silver is going to be the majority of players are going to be in there.
Fraser says that's me.
Or lower gold. Majority will be like upper silver to lower gold. Platinum. And all you have to do to find out how you're gonna fit in here, guys, is take your current skill rating in the game right now and multiply it by 50, and you'll get your number for next season. What it would be next season if they had this system in place. So I'm just barely in the diamond tier, maybe mid-diamond actually. Bronze, silver, gold, diamond players will not drop it if they're okay. We already knew all this. Skill rating decay, we knew that. We saw him talk about it. All right, now there's some map changes. Several refinements have been made with the time bank system for Hanamura, Temple of Anubis. We'll probably only find out about those later on. Time bank system has been added to Dorado, Hollywood, Kings Road, Numbani, Route 66, and Watchpoint Gibraltar, meaning that the speedier you are, the better it is for you in the next rounds. So it's time banking isn't just for control point anymore.
Okay.
Time being granted on taking objectives in Dorado, Hanamura, blah, 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 have been reduced from 5 to 4 minutes. So they're just kind of trying to shorten things up a little bit. They already said they were going to try to do that.
Great.
Competitive points will be multiplied by 10, and guns will be multiplied by 10. This is just so that they could give you half points, basically. That's why they did this. 3 competitive points for a draw. Oh, that's actually less than they were gonna do. I thought they said 5. So you get, for a tie game, which they say is gonna be rare, you're gonna get a third of what you would get if you won.
Huh?
That's too bad.
I wonder why they changed that.
Soft cap is being placed on the number of competitive points that can be saved at 6,000, which I almost have. So you cannot save up. I was saying that I wasn't big on the gold guns, and I wanted to see if I wanted something in the future that they might release, and I'd like to save up.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's no reason that you'll be wasting your points if you don't spend them, basically. So at least it makes my decision easier.
Yeah, I guess.
I
wonder why. It makes it more rare.
Yeah, it's
the things that you get.
It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Probably because they don't want people banking up paranoid that something awesome is going to be released. They want people to actually use their points.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the nitty-gritty. Hero balancing. Ultimates that consume their ultimate meter when activated now drain the meter more quickly. It used to be 1 second. Like, so if you're Pharah and you fuck up, if you pop your ultimate and then you immediately get killed, sometimes you'll have still 60% left. Now that's very unlikely. Pretty much it's gone immediately.
Shoot.
You would have to be killed the second you pop it in order to still have a substantial amount left. So get better.
Yeah,
get better at popping your ultimates. They're reverting recent change to the reduced size of heroes' projectiles, which wasn't even, I don't think they ever made this a note that they had done this. I remember that when the last update came out, people noticed that the hitboxes were better.
Yeah.
But they thought it was the hitboxes. Apparently it wasn't the hitboxes that were altered. It was the size of the projectiles and how they are registered on the screen. So, anyways, when you think that Hanzo is shooting logs through the air, people always joke that he's basically firing logs. They're so big, it hits everything.
Yeah, I totally noticed that
Kind of was. He was actually shooting larger projectiles than what they looked like. So it wasn't the hitbox. It was the actual projectile that made the hitboxes seem. So anyways, they're reverting that. They said it had too many unintended side effects. They don't say what those were. And at least in the current form, we'll continue watching this and make the additional changes if necessary. Myself, I don't think this is a bad thing. I want this. As a console player, this is not a bad thing for console. We should have more forgiving hitboxes to begin with. I think this was an update that should have never even hit console. If they thought it was a problem on PC, cool, whatever, fix it. But I think the console should have just always had the same.
Have they made many changes on PC and not on
the only
console,
difference between PC and console is turrets from Torbjorn and Symmetra.
Okay.
Do 30% less damage, and I think that's bullshit. As a person who's a pretty damn good at Ana, in the top 10% of players who play Ana, I think Ana needs a better counter on console. And Torbjorn was that counter, but now he's not.
Okay.
He needs to be buffed back up again. Anyways, defense matrix after being activated, so this is DBA's shield, it can be regenerated after 1 second instead of 0.5 seconds. They said they were finding that people would just kind of tap it repeatedly and it was more efficient than keeping it held down, and they want to get rid of that strategy.
I was tapping it.
Yeah, it was kind of not bad at all. I'm a top 10 Ana, probably because nobody uses Ana. Hanzo will now experience a 30% decrease in speed while aiming instead of 40%. So he's now, I don't know the math on this, but kind of 10% faster, but not really. He's more how do you do that? He's I guess he's 25% faster now when aiming.
Okay.
So, kind of. The math is weird. But anyways, this is the big thing. His projectile speed has been increased by 30%, and that makes his projectile by far, from what I looked up, the fastest projectile in the game.
And it doesn't matter how far you pull it back,
No,
right?
at max.
Oh, okay,
his maximum speed.
Oh, right.
So across the board it's been increased by 30%, but his max is now the fastest projectile of anybody in the game. It's I think it was double the speed of Pharah's rockets before this, and now it's triple.
Wow.
That's
so nuts.
In a way, it's almost like his arrows are now hit scan. His maximum charge arrow is going to travel so fast through the air, it's not even worth considering it to be traveling, really.
Yeah,
unless you're aiming from very far away. So To me, the downside to that is I loved leading targets. It was such a satisfying feeling to lead them when they were close up to you and like a trace is running by and you're just like...
Yeah.
So it'll take away a little bit from that satisfaction, I feel like, because the leading is just basically going to be non-existent now, I think.
Yeah.
And with the increased hitbox, he's going to now be, as I just said, as a major Pharah player, I'm afraid now of Hanzo. He may, even on console, may be a viable Pharah counter. He was not before, now I think he is. He can basically now just point at Pharah and unleash the arrow. Before you had to like guess where she would drop, to the left, to the right. Is she gonna stop using her boost?
Yeah.
Is she gonna
It does
like
seem like with this speed, you can just
point at them and shoot. Unless you're way far away, you can just basically aim and shoot. He had the potential to do a lot of damage, but he feels really inconsistent at a medium distance. Increasing his projectile speed, we're extending his reliable range, making it easier to land shots without having to perfectly predict enemy movement. And the fact was, a lot of people are like kind of salty about this, saying, oh, just what we need, more lucky headshots from Hanzo. It's like, you know what? If you know a Hanzo is down a hallway and you stuck your head out and he got you, what's the difference? Respect his space. What's the difference between him getting a lucky shot on you or a skilled player at the other end getting a real headshot on you? Regardless, you didn't respect the space. You deserve to get shot. It's either respect his space, like, to me, Overwatch shouldn't be a game about being like, I'm gonna go out here with the hope that he's not good enough to hit me.
Yeah.
Like a good player who's practiced with him should, but I'm just gonna bank on him not hitting me. And it's like, oh boy, he didn't hit me, I'm so awesome. If you get hit by that thing, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Blizzard projectile now pierces barriers, I told you about this before. And radius has been increased from 10 to 8. 8 to 10 meters.
Whenever she throws out her blizzard.
BA29 says he plays Hanzo because he doesn't have sniping skills. That's the other note I want to say, is this is a big news, Hanzo being better for console, because as many of you know, there is no viable sniper on console. Like, to be a good sniper, right now a lot of people say on PC, Widowmaker's barely played and she's barely viable, let alone
What are they gonna do with
not
her?
as viable as she should be. Let's say not as viable as other snipers are in other first-person shooter games.
Okay.
I would say is what people's general sentiment is. On console, you're only, like, for a while I used Hanzo because he was the only thing that I felt like could reliably get targets from a distance. Him and Zenyatta. I think this is going to be a great day for playing sniper on console. I think getting a better Hanzo. So anyways, Maze Blizzard is better, bigger radius, now pierces barriers, should make it a little bit better. It should be interesting to play with, because 2 meters doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the outside. Like, you add, if you went from a 2 meter to a 4 meter, that's doubling the size, and that sounds substantial, but I'd say like putting 2 meters on the outside of an 8 meter, that increases the area by a crazy amount.
Yeah, it does.
That's a huge amount of, like, literally area that has been added.
All around.
Yeah. McCree, all right, on to McCree. His Deadeye now drains. Oh, so this is a big deal. Basically, his Deadeye now drains.
Okay.
It used to be that if you initiated Deadeye, it went automatically to 50%, and then you could choose to cancel at any point, and you kept 50%. And if you were killed before you unleashed it, you also kept 50%. Now, it drains in a quarter of a second, period.
Wow.
So you do not get to cancel out of a Deadeye because you didn't find targets. You have to commit to your Deadeye, which is kind of the downside of that. I can understand why they want to get rid of him keeping his Deadeye when he gets countered, but I do feel like it's kind of shitty not being able to cancel out of your Deadeye. It's be interesting to see how that works with him.
God, I'm terrible with him.
Mercy, this is the big one. To me, this is the biggest one.
Okay.
And I predicted this. Her healing beam now has a 20% increase in healing.
Nice.
And I was predicting a 30%. You guys might remember. I actually said that she needed a boost because she didn't end up keeping her damage buff. They wanted to make her played more because nobody was playing her in competitive.
God,
And very few were, and she was just nowhere near as viable as Discord Orb Zenyatta and Speed Boost Lucio, who heals the whole team. Now she is like, they're increasing her viability, her main focused role, which was one target healing. Now she will be able to heal up a DVA who's been dropped down to 100 health. Before it was 6 seconds, now it's 5 seconds to get her back up to full health.
Nice.
Like that's going to be a big
awesome.
deal. And then it'll just increase her viability, like her ability to like heal up a whole team by going from target to target. Increasing her healing rate, doesn't say this here, but the side effect to that is that's 20% faster. Well, I don't know if this is how this
For her resurrect.
for her resurrect. I don't know if that literally makes it 20% faster. I guess it does. It might actually only be 10% because when you heal somebody, like you're always building your, even when you're not healing somebody, then you heal somebody, like I think it doubles the speed at which you build.
Okay.
So a 20% increase is going to increase that by 20%, increasing the overall build rate by 10, I think, is what that ends up being. I'm not good at math, but it is like a new, or like a faster, she will build it faster, basically, because she's healing more people. As long as your guys are getting hurt, she'll build it faster. Also, allies will be able to move after 2.25 seconds instead of 3 after they've been resurrected.
Oh, okay.
Just gets them back in the game a little bit quicker, gives the other team less time to react to it, and also gives them, more importantly, as they note here, less time to kill Mercy when the team gets back into it.
Yeah.
So I don't see this as big as the other ones, but this is the one that's getting all the conversation.
Yeah.
Genji has been nerfed epically. He's less slippery now than before, and there's some major ones in here that were very important. And I don't think it's RIP Genji. I think he's still viable, totally. And he's still going to be slippery. His double jump no longer resets when wall climbing. He used to be able to, like, double jump, touch a wall, double jump, and never touch the ground.
That's
and you were
crazy that you could do that.
And on console especially, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, how do you on console hit a guy who's double jumping out of the air? With PC, maybe point and click, like it'll be tough, but you'll get him.
Yeah.
On console, he was extremely difficult to get out of the air unless you went with Winston. So even when you hard countered him, I felt like Genji. It was funny because I saw one person who was angry about this saying, now he won't even be able to get away from Winston. You know what? He shouldn't be able to get away from Winston. If I hard countered you with Winston, it should be insanely hard for you to get away from me already, and this will just make it. But he was. He was always getting away from Winston. That was fucked up. He shouldn't be able to so easily get away from Winston, and now he can't as easily. His dash no longer deals damage to traps like Widowmaker's Venom Mine and Junkrat's Steel Trap. How was that even a thing before?
Yeah.
How is it that a fucking bear trap can be dashed through and doesn't catch a guy, the very thing it was designed to do?
Yeah.
Like, it catches...
I just pictured him going so fast.
Well, it catches Tracer when she blinks and bends space and time around us to run past it faster than any human can see.
Bullshit.
So if Tracer could be caught in it, he needs to be caught in it. I remember the first time it happened to me. I was playing Junkrat and there's like a Genji coming at me. I'm doing the old back up as he shoots grenades, but he reflected a few, then he jumped in the air and I'm like, eh. And I was like, fuck it. I tossed down my trap. I'm like, this will get you. And all of a sudden goes through it. Trap destroyed. What? I was like, how the fuck does that make sense? Cause it can also catch Reinhardt when he does his charge. So why the fuck wouldn't you catch Genji? No longer bypass it. Okay. It doesn't bypass the steel trap or damage the steel trap. It used to destroy it and bypass it. All right.
Okay.
Swift Strike no longer interrupts your melee animation. It used to be that a quick combo that people like to use was if you were near a person, you melee'd, then dashed through them.
Oh, okay.
And you were able to do it like bam, bam, because even though his animation is supposed to go like this, and then before you can do anything, and then you'd have to go through, he was able to go like this, then dash, and it canceled the animation. Now you can't.
Okay.
You have to wait for your melee to finish, so people just won't be able to use that anymore, and a lot of people are saying that's the biggest nerf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because a lot of people, that was their main way of killing, because it's that or you stand at the edge and take pot shots like so many people try to do.
I think that's kind of what I do.
Building up their ultimate, which a lot of people, I've seen Genjis who basically, I've seen Genjis where it's like the only time you see them is when it's time for their ultimate. where they'll just like, they'll sit at the sidelines, shooting in. If somebody sees them, like, ah! They run away, and then they come back when everybody's given up on chasing them, or if it's a smart team, didn't chase him at all and just let him run away.
Yeah.
And then he comes back when it's time for his ultimate. It's like, it's Genji time! Like, I thought it was high noon. So 8 seconds
Genji
down to
was a little
6.
too difficult to pin down. Yeah.
Yes, it was ridiculous. And so he's now at 6 seconds instead of 8 seconds, which I also think, I recently thought that needed to happen because I've been practicing Zenyatta a lot lately, and I will hear Genji go zibba dabba dabba doo, and then I will, like in response to it, like 1 second later, pop my ultimate, the Iris, and then my Iris runs out, and he still has like 2 seconds left, even though he popped his first. That's not right. It should be on par with the Iris ultimate, at least.
Yeah.
Because it was ridiculous before. That like all of a sudden he's just waiting there for my Iris to end and he's like, slice. And it's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Lucio's Amp It Up, they decreased his speed from 50 to 30, or by 30%. So now instead of going double the increase in speed, it's now 70% increase in speed on his speed song. It's still going to be substantial, but I think I don't know if this is gonna, they say that he was an auto pick in every lineup. He still is. This is not the nerf.
That's not a huge difference.
It's not a big enough nerf in my opinion. That coupled with, that coupled with the buff to Mercy and the nerf that we're about to read about on Zenyatta might even out the healer picks, maybe. Okay. But I still think that Lucio's gotta be picked like crazy still.
I love playing as Lucio.
He's too good. Roadhog's chain hook, if Roadhog's line of sight is broken when he's retracting the hook, like if you hook them and either you walk to the side or they walk to the side and you can't see them anymore, they will be just moved back to where they were when they were originally hooked. What used to happen was they were like dragged along the surface or whatever, like along the wall kind of, like slid along it, and then you would get them still, so you could actually get guys from around corners. I'm kind of sad about this because I thought getting guys from around corners was cool. Like it made sense too. It's a chain, right? Like it should be able to grab the guy, and even if we get out of each other's sight, it should be able to like reel him back in, right? No matter where he went. It also created a lot of, it's created more problems. That's interesting. Because his chain hook has also been derpy. There's been moments where like he'll pull people through walls. It's been an ornery type of skill. It teleports them back, then pulls them in? Oh. Okay, so I need to see this in action to understand it.
They look so bad now.
I haven't seen this. Oh, man. So I'm just guessing. Does his chain like kind of look like it's stiff? Is that what it looks like? Does it look more like a harpoon from Scorpion than it did a chain like it has been? That's what I'm picturing, is something that feels stiff. We'll see what happens. That's what the public test realm is for. Zenyatta's nerf. The amount of damage he amplifies a target has been decreased from being a 50% increase to 30%. So used to, if an Orb of Discord was on you, you took 50% damage, damage from all sources. Now it's only 30.
Okay.
To offset the fact that will make him a lot less, like that, I read that and I was like, holy fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like to tracers everywhere. Because that would make it so that it would take 4 hits on a tracer. Right now with the Orb of Discord, if you can take one down as long as you put the orb on her, you can get her in 3 hits. 2 if you get a headshot. But what they've done is they've increased his individual shots by 6%, which, not unlike the Widowmaker nerf / buff, they did kind of a similar thing when they took away her body shot damage, was they made it so that headshots ended up doing the same amount or something like, I forget exactly how that worked out, but they just evened it out. They did this too. So he basically still does the same amount of damage. And in fact, he does more damage now. So while the Discord orb has been decreased in its benefit, it's now encouraged to keep the orb on the target that you let your team have when you're fighting off somebody else, because because you now do more damage
Oh,
without
right.
the orb.
So you don't necessarily need to have it on who you're.
Yeah, so this
Target.
offset has made it, it's still going to be very beneficial, obviously, to have the orb on your target, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to probably reconsider. All the time it was like an automatic thing. I'm being hunted, I got to take that Discord orb away from the Genji that they're all hunting, and I got to put it on this Tracer who's harassing me. Now I might consider just leaving it and let my team go do their damage to that asshole who needs to be caught, and I might actually just figure it out, like with my extra 6 damage per shot. I might be able to figure it out on my own. We'll see how it plays, it'll be interesting. So that's it on the characters. The only other things here, Watchpoint Gibraltar's first checkpoint's been removed, so you no longer checkpoint in the
Down.
in the ditch. Now you have to get to the gate.
That's not the first checkpoint though, is it? Oh, yes, it is
Yeah.
the first checkpoint.
So presumably
Oh, wow.
they will increase the amount of time though that to get to the second checkpoint. There's no way they're going to keep the time the same, but we'll see. They say that the balance changes that were implemented in previous patches have eliminated the need for the extra checkpoint. Presumably they're talking about the Torbjorn nerf?
You guys are all saying that that checkpoint felt weird.
Or
I didn't really think about it that much.
next up, allied health bars will be able to be seen by all characters.
Ooh, really?
Even if you're not a healer or a character that does healing,
That's
or
interesting.
Zarya who can put shields, you'll be able to see everybody, and that'll be beneficial
Nice.
for me as Farah in the air. I want to know, without asking over voice chat, how much health my Mercy has, because I want to protect my Mercy or any of my
Right.
healers. I want to make sure that they're protected. Contextual menus have been added to the hero selection screen, giving players the ability to report, group up with other players. That'll probably be PC only, because we still on console don't have the ability to report anybody in any way. Matchmaking UI is now purple in the competitive queue.
Instead of white?
I guess, yeah. And then made several minor adjustments to typography in the, okay, doesn't matter. Bug fixes, stuff, almost guaranteed that you'll always have fixed a bug with Reaper not getting, or going to unintended locations. I guarantee it's in here. Is it not?
I don't see it yet.
Shit. It's almost every time there's
It might be at the bottom here.
Oh,
'cause
maybe.
It's heroes, right?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Reinhardt Reaper.
I haven't read
To
these. I
reach
only read the other
unintended
stuff.
map locations using Shadow Step. That's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, there you go. It's on every update. It's the Reapers are always finding. So what I'm seeing in here, appropriate sound effects now play when Anna shoots barriers, shields, and armor. Okay. I didn't know that there was an issue. DVA no longer communicates her ultimate status for self-destruct while charging her Calm Mech ultimate. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Hanzo's Spirit Dragon voice line plays now when he unleashes Okami and Lone Wolf. I guess he didn't
Aw.
say anything before?
With Lone Wolf, it was the sounds of. Oh, I
They're
don't
gonna
know
keep
if.
the sound of the wolves. They're just gonna.
Yeah.
Apparently, you never heard him when he was
I
using that
guess
skin,
not.
and that kind of seems
That's the
OP.
skin that I always use.
Junkrat's emote and highlight animations were fixed. Apparently, there were some. May's ice wall. I don't know if you played May lately, but there was an issue that came out for whatever reason. I don't know how they broke this, but when you put an ice wall beneath you, you slid off to the right or left.
Oh, no way!
Unless you were perfectly in the middle, you slid left or right, and you couldn't do her
That's
climbing.
weird. I never tried it in a match, so that's probably why I always like lined it up like very perfectly. And
People are shooting at you all around, and you're just like,
well, it wasn't during a match. I'd do it before because I just
I'm
play
helping.
around with things. Yeah.
Fixed
Man,
a bug
that
where
sucks.
ice wall would be wouldn't be preventing her ice wall from being destroyed while moving the payload. Fixed a bug that prevented
noticed
from
that.
appearing at target location. Fixed Reapers on unintended locations. Reinhardt's shield jittered. They fixed it. His chain wasn't displaying on Roadhog. Symmetra's emotes and highlight intros were fixed. Scarf on Slipstream. Oh, this is really minor stuff. Okay. Was there anything else up here? Spectate option now becomes okay. Just general. All right. That's it. So those are your notes. So, how much of this will make it out of the PTR? Last in the last
PTR?
public test realm.
Oh, right.
It's an optional, like if you're on PC, you can go on and it'll be like, do you want to test out the shit? And you can go on there.
And it doesn't affect your user rating or anything like that?
Yeah. So, on the last update, Mercy's damage buff didn't make it out. What else didn't make it out? There was one other thing that didn't make it, and I can't remember what it was. But pretty much everything made it through on the last one. So it'll be interesting to see how much of this stuff makes it through. From the sounds of them, Roadhog's thing will be reversed because it sounds shitty. Again, this is coming from somebody with no experience with this stuff. I'm just going by my premonitions on this. I absolutely don't want to see anything with Genji changed as a console player. I don't know about PC, but I can tell you that all of those changes were beautiful. I think the main thing that needs to be done for Genji, you probably could have not done a few of those things. And did an indirect nerf on him by simply giving console players the ability to 180 with the click of L3.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Or tap tap 180. If you go with your thumbstick, tap tap to the side at the very side, like an audible, like you'll be 180. We need an automatic 180 button because
that would be super nice.
On PC you go like this. That's a 180, and it's like that Genji dashes through you, bam, I'm facing him again. And it's like with same with Tracer. She dashes through you. Right now, Genji and Tracer are kind of OP on console because of that. They're not OP, but they're better than they should be. I also think Pharah's better than she should be. And again, I try to be fair on this shit. I love Pharah, but I do believe that she doesn't need nerfs. She needs to be inadvertent or indirectly countered or nerfed with a buff to, I think Winston should have gotten a buff instead of maybe some of those.
Oh yeah, Winston again.
Because he also counters Pharah. I think if Winston had gotten a buff to his damage dealt, you could have not done some of that stuff for Genji.
Okay.
Because I find that when Genji does get away from me, as Winston, it's usually the last little sliver of health. And I've already used my jump, and he gets away and he goes finds a health pack.
Right,
If they just increased Winston's damage by 10%, I think it would solve most of the issues with countering Genji.
Or make Winston's shield stronger.
Yes, I would love to see his shield to get fixed.
That would be nice.
It used to be, his shield used to stay up forever.
Forever?
Until it got destroyed.
Oh, okay.
It didn't have right now it's a 4 seconds it gets to stay up. And I think that's stupid. It's only 1,000 health. Let it stay up.
Yes.
They said there were issues.
That would be really cool.
I think the reason they did it was because there were issues with multiple Winstons. And again, this is also fixed because we got rid of hero stacking. They said multiple Winstons would just layer them up. And because they didn't disappear, it could take you like longer. If you had 3 Winstons or 4 Winstons, it would take 4 Winstons would be twice as long to get rid of those orbs as it would to be to get rid of a Reinhardt shield. Twice as long to get rid of those orbs. So I can understand with hero stacking how that might have been OP, but if you get rid of hero stacking, leave the shields up.
Yeah.
Of course, quick play has hero stacking, but I mean, whatever. Nobody gives a shit about quick play. Let them layer up their shields.
Yeah.
Let them play 4 Winstons. It'll be so rare that it won't matter.
Well, people are going to be playing quick play now, though, because
quick plays. The quick play meta is about to get a lot more competitive as people from competitive. Oh, you quick players, get ready for some salt. Not kidding. But anyways, that's the changes. We have one more thing I think to do tonight, and that's watching some gameplay on the new map.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be back with one more video and some analysis and our thoughts on our first impressions of how that new map is gonna play. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back.